Hello and welcome to the first episode of News Weekly, brought to you by Uninet Studios. I'm your host Logan, and joining me today is the co-host of the show,
Glam. This week in global news, Americans have released from Russian captivity after a historical prisoner swap. The released Americans, which also included Russian-American journalist Alsu Kurmasheva, are headed to the United States, according to a senior administration official. Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich and former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan were among 2 dozen detainees released Thursday as a part of the biggest prisoner exchange between Russia and the West since the Cold War. Turkey said it played a mediator role in the swap, which involved 24 detainees in 7 countries. A host of Russian dissidents were also freed while in return. Moscow got a convicted Russian assassin jailed in Germany. Thursday's massive swap was the result of a complicated behind-the-scenes negotiations involving the US, Russia, Belarus, and Germany. The deal ended in a nightmare that lasted more than 5 years for Whelan and more than a year for Gershovkik. Both were designated by the US as wrongfully detained. In the first place, this stuff shouldn't happen. I understand detaining people who have done wrong things in countries, and that's understandable, such as some of the illegals crossing the border, possibly. That would make more sense due to that would make more sense captivating something like that as opposed to these Americans in Russia, because they really didn't do a crime, because like we said, they were wrongfully detained in the first place. Logan, your opinion?
So my opinion on the matter is that this also shouldn't be happening. You shouldn't be wrongfully detaining people. Although it's great to see that they were able to work out a deal to get the Americans back to where they belong in the
Yeah.
United. Oh boy. On to the next story of uh the day of the week. Iran and its proxies vow revenge against Israel. Oh, I was given a nice story. Following the assassination of Hezbollah's top military commander, Fuad
Shuka.
Shuka in Beirut, and Hamas's political leader, Ismail Haniyeh, Iran has vowed revenge on Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned of challenging days ahead as Israel braces for potential attacks from Iran and its regional proxies. The Israeli government confirmed the strike on Shuka in retaliation for a deadly attack on a Golden Heights town, but has not commented on Haniyeh's killing. Iran and Hamas have blamed Israel for the attacks and promised harsh punishment. Amidst international disagreement on how to respond, Iran's supreme leader has ordered a direct strike on Israel. The U.S. has raised its travel advisory for Lebanon, urging Americans to leave, while Hamas warned that Haniyeh's death would escalate the conflict in Gaza. Back to you, Glam.
Oh, my bad. Um, Personally, all this is going to do is worsen the war, I believe. Now, it is good that they're finally, um, it is, like, understandable, I should say, that they are vowing revenge, but it's not going to do anything to help end the war or help the war, like, slow down or stop in any way. Um, but that being said, um, war shouldn't happen anyways, but it's inevitable. So it's it's going to happen. It just needs to end soon. And because this war can't go on. Same with such wars as like the Russia and Ukraine one. these wars can't go on forever. They have to stop somewhere, and this is not helping it at all. Logan?
Oh boy. So once again, my opinion on the matter. Gotta put like a disclaimer on the thing saying it's opinion. My opinion on the matter is simply put that while a retaliatory strike against the area that attacked the civilian area in the Golden Heights is more reasonable than some other things. I do not believe that a vow from the not involved in the conflict, technically Iran, should be the answer, their retaliatory measure for the retaliation. So that's that.
Awesome. Now, moving over to the weekly U.S. news. Trump faces tough questions at Association of Black Journalists convention. The former U.S. President Donald Trump faced a challenging interview at the Association of a Black Journalists convention. Interviewed by three black female journalists, Trump was combative, particularly with Rachel Scott, whom he called nasty and rude for questioning him about his past comments, including his false claim that Barack Obama was not born in the United States. Trump claimed that immigrants crossing the southern border would take black jobs, as asserted he had been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. Trump also targeted Vice President Kamala Harris, the presumptive Democratic nominee, questioning her racial identity by stating he did not know that she was black until recently, claiming she suddenly chosen to identify as black despite being Indian. Harris, who has long identified as black and multiracial, studied at Howard University and joined a historically black sorority. The interview itself experienced technical issues, starting an hour late by ending abruptly after 35 minutes. Harris responded to Trump's comments by describing them as divisive. Honestly, Trump has his good sides and has his bad sides. There's a good and bad side to every president. No president is truly good, and no one in general is truly good. So, I mean, I don't understand, I shouldn't say, where he's coming from, but the things that because some of the things that he's saying is not correct. But he doesn't just say this to like black people and of like African Americans and stuff. He also says some nasty comments to like white people. So it's not just a black thing, but I do see how it's putting some unease in some of the black voters of the United States, and that's completely understandable. Logan, your turn.
Okay. So I want to talk about a couple things in the opinion of my opinion on the thing. One, Barack Obama was born in Hawaii, of all places. Beautiful place to be born. Love Hawaii. Looks very nice to travel to. And two, very certain comments, like you shouldn't be rude to the person that's giving you questions. It's not something that you should do. If you're there by your own free will in an interview, you shouldn't be like rude to the interviewers. It's their place. You're the interviewee. Be polite. That's all. Oh, it's my right. I saw the next
It
one.
is your story, yeah.
So the Pentagon has announced guilty pleas in a 9/11 mastermind case. The Pentagon has announced that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, the alleged mastermind behind the 9/11 attacks, and two accomplices have pled guilty. The three have been detained at Guantanamo Bay for years without trial. Mohammed was accused of conceiving the idea of hijacking planes to be used as weapons, receiving approval from Osama bin Laden to execute the plot. The trial's delayed delays stemmed from disputes over evidence admissibility, notably due to torture such as waterboarding inflicted on Muhammad by the CIA. The plea bargains, which spared the defendants from the death penalty, required them to plead guilty to all charges, including the murder of 2,976 people. The victims' families have expressed mixed reactions, with some relieved at the resolution and others frustrated by the absence of a death penalty or a full trial.
Uplifting news of the week. At the Paris Olympics, 22-year-old French swimmer Leon Maron achieved an impressive feat by winning 2 gold medals in just a few hours. He secured his first gold in the men's 200-meter butterfly final on Wednesday evening and followed it up with another gold in the men's 200-meter breaststroke final shortly after. This brought his total to 3 gold medals in 4 days, all won by setting new Olympic records. Maron made history by becoming the first person to win double golds across 2 solo disciplines in a single session, and only the 4th swimmer ever to win individual gold medals on the same day. This remarkable achievement took place in front of a home crowd, making it even more special.
This video is sponsored by the Uninet Studios Discord server. If you have not joined it already, please check it out. There will be a link in the description. You can also check it out on the YouTube channel page for Uninet Studios, where you're currently watching this video. It's a great place to connect with not only fans of Uninet Studios, but also the people that help make it happen. So, please go check it out. And with that being said, have a great day.